What up, Space Cowboys? Goes in here for AnimeUproar. The response on my every S-Class hero video was amazing, so I decided to make a video about all of the known A-Class heroes as well. Eventually, we may even get through all B-Class and C-Class heroes. If you enjoy seeing One Punch Man videos on this channel, make sure to smash that like button to let me know. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe, and this is really important, hit that notification bell so YouTube actually notifies you when new One Punch Man videos drop. If you haven't guessed so far, I will be talking about webcomic spoilers, so that I can give you all of the relevant information. Now, without further ado, let's jump into it. We are going to go from lowest rank to highest rank. So, ironically, we are going to be starting off with the strongest character in the entire series, the 25-year-old Saitama aka Cape Baldy. Yes, in the webcomic after the Monster Association arc, Saitama gets promoted to A-Class rank 39. He's still far from S-Class, but it's good to see him making progress. As we know, Saitama can beat almost anyone with one punch. During this video, I will give ratings from the One Punch Man data book when we have them available, and for Saitama we do. Saitama is a physical type of fighter, and the association gave him the following scores: a perfect 10 in stamina, a 1 in intelligence, a 1 in justice, a perfect 10 in endurance, a perfect 10 in power, a 1 in popularity, a 3 in effectiveness, and a question mark for fighting ability. This makes his total score about 36 out of 80 in the Hero Association's eyes. Genos gave Saitama his own scores: a 15 plus out of 10 in stamina, a 4 in intelligence, a 15 plus in justice, a 15 plus in endurance, a 15 plus in power, a 1 in popularity, a 15 plus in effectiveness, and a 15 plus in fighting ability, making his total score 95 plus out of 80. Not bad. Even though it's a mathematically impossible score, it's still way more accurate than the Hero Association's final score. Saitama's normal punches are enough to take out most opponents, and his serious punch didn't even connect with anything, but the force from it alone stopped Boris's collapsing star roaring cannon attack and took him out. Boros was pretty much a god level threat, since his one attack would have blown away the planet's surface, so clearly he was a threat to the survival of humanity. Yet Saitama beat him without even connecting his punch, and Boros said that Saitama had strength to spare, so he wasn't even going all out with his attack. Thus, despite all of the amazing feats that Saitama has accomplished, the true extent of his power still can't be accurately measured. The 37th ranked hero is the 37-year-old Biting Snake Fist's Neck. Just a side note, you'll notice that we jumped from rank 39 to rank 37. This is because we haven't been introduced to some A-Class heroes yet, so we will skip some ranks like rank 38. However, never fear, we will go over all of the known A-Class heroes and their powers. Now back to Snek. He's a cocky guy who wears the suit made from the skin of a monster he killed. He's a physical type of fighter, and his statistics are as follows. He scored a 6 in stamina, a 6 in intelligence, a 6 in justice, a 5 in endurance, a 6 in power, a 5 in popularity, a 7 in effectiveness, and a 6 in fighting ability, making his total score 47 out of 80. Snek is a martial arts expert whose fighting style emulates snake movements. Although his Biting Snake Fist was embarrassingly useless against Saitama, the Deep Sea King, and Suiryu, we have to give him credit for consistently stepping up to fight even when he's clearly outmatched. The 36th ranked hero is Chain Toad, a guy who wears karate clothes, has a black belt, and wears a frog helmet on top of it all. Because he's a pretty plain dude, he wears a frog helmet to appeal to kids, since popularity is an important factor for heroes. Living up to the chain in his name, Karate Toadman uses a metal chain with a heavy iron weight at one end and a sickle at the other to fight. This weapon is a traditional Japanese weapon called a kusarigama, and Chain Toad is an expert at using it. He fights by swinging the chain around, using it to hit and cut people or trap their body parts. The 35th ranked hero is Air. He is a muscular man who does his hair in pigtails and wears a grass skirt. His character appears to be based on indigenous Australians. He is a master at using the boomerang, a traditional weapon for indigenous Australians. He is skilled enough to defeat the tiger level threat Black Roast with one hit. The previously 34th ranked hero was the 29-year-old Heavy Kong. He is a bald, tall, and buff man who wears a championship belt and a chain across his body. He also has a Mike Tyson-like tattoo on one side of his face. He's in charge of W City. He is a physical type of fighter, and he scored a 5 in stamina, a 6 in intelligence, a 7 in justice, a 6 in endurance, a 6 in power, a 5 in popularity, a 6 in effectiveness, and a 5 in fighting ability, giving him a total score of 46 out of 80. Heavy Kong fought an armed tiger-level monster called Martial Gorilla for 15 minutes on his own and only received one visible and shallow cut on his arm from Martial Gorilla's knife, showing he definitely does have some skill as a fighter. However, Martial Gorilla was casually smoking during the fight while Heavy Kong was panting and sweating, so it's safe to say that he was losing the fight at that point. Perhaps because he was not strong enough to overpower Martial Gorilla, the hero Feather eventually replaced Heavy Kong as the 34th ranked hero. Feather is cool, and not only because he looks like a K-pop star, he is a serious dude who fights with Wolverine-like claws. These blades are called Tekokagi, and they were deployed by Ninja in Japan. Shredder from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles also uses these bad boys. Feather is seen killing several monsters at a time, and even Sweet Mask is impressed with his flair. In fact, Feather's fighting style is renowned among heroes. His style is called hovering midair assassination. He jumps from one enemy to another while slicing them with his claws and with the blades that come out of his shoes. The 33rd ranked hero is Dollmaster. Not much is known about Dollmaster. He appears to be a weapon style of fighter, who uses a marionette to fight, kind of like Kankuro from Naruto. Dollmaster appeared in the bonus manga Pork Cutlet Bowl. All we know is that the puppet on the strings actually looks less like a puppet than the figure controlling the strings. And even the Hero Association doesn't know who is the master and who is the puppet. The 32nd ranked hero is Shadow Ring. She is a female ninja from an unknown village. She's actually really awesome and uses substitution jutsu like in Naruto, so that the monster thinks they hit her while they actually only hit a log substitute. She then goes on to expertly decapitate the monster with a swipe of her sword. She even impresses Flashy Flash with her ninjutsu, no easy feat. However, she still has a ways to go since she couldn't do anything against the demon level monster Rhino Wrestler. The 31st ranked hero is Forte. He is actually hilarious. He's a young dude who wears glasses, a hat, a hoodie, and most importantly, headphones. I laughed so badly when he challenged Saitama to a fight in chapter 98 of the webcomic. Forte listens to music when he fights, and builds his fighting style around the rhythm of the music. It's definitely a unique fighting style that has somehow gotten him pretty far. But there are major drawbacks. Because his music is so loud, he can't hear what's happening around him. So before he can fight Saitama, he gets hit by a car because he couldn't hear the honking. After the car hits him, he's out cold, and Saitama warns him about the dangers of listening to music in the middle of a fight. I can't wait until the manga and anime catch up to this part so I can relive this hilarious moment once again. The 30th ranked hero is Peach Terry. He can be identified by his headband, which has an image of a peach on it. He is a weapons type of fighter and uses a katana in battle. We are told that his biggest weakness is talking too much during a fight. In the bonus manga chapter Lost Cat, he was no match for the demon level monster Grizz Meow, who absolutely terrified the Peach Swordsman. The 29th ranked hero is Narcisstoic. You can recognize this hero by his amazing hair, his long chin, and the rose that is in his mouth at all times. Leaning less towards stoicism and more towards narcissism, this hero can be very arrogant, showy, and flamboyant. He tells Sweet Mask to behold the sheer elegance of his beautiful combat arts, and then he goes on to perform his move, Soft Touch Execution. Ironically, despite the name of the move and the elegance he's going for, his moves are definitely not pretty to look at. He throws his rose into the air, then brutally punches a monster several times, knees another one in the stomach, and finishes a third off with a cinder block before catching the rose he threw in his mouth. He shows that his attacks are definitely powerful, but they're far from beautiful. Sweet Mask doesn't even pay any attention to him and instead appreciates Feather's much more graceful fighting style. As we saw, Narcisstoic is primarily a physical type of fighter, but he'll definitely stoop to using surrounding objects like a cinder block or his rose gold brass knuckles if he needs to. The 28th ranked hero is the 47-year-old Spring Mustachio. Between his suit, bow tie, and mustache, you can't deny that this guy has style. Mustachio is a weapons type of fighter, using a fencing style of sword that can do cool things like coil, extend, and more. He scored a 5 in stamina, a 6 in intelligence, a 7 in justice, a 5 in endurance, a 7 in power, a 5 in popularity, a 6 in effectiveness, and a 6 in fighting ability, meaning he scored a 47 47 out of 80 overall. Mustachio can easily slash through concrete and metal, but he can't beat the tiger level monster Kombu Infinity. To his credit though, he did not scream out like the monster hoped he would. Mustachio was also noble enough to come to Golden Ball's rescue when Garo attacked him, but Garo ended up being too much for him to handle. The 27th ranked hero is the 26-year-old Smile Man. He is the highest ranking member of the Shirley brothers, followed by Crying Man and then Angry Man. You can recognize this hero by the smiley face on his chest. He's amazing at keeping his cool and even remained calm when a demon level monster jumped out and punched him. Smile Man used a kendama in battle, which is based off of a traditional Japanese toy. It looks like a giant two-sided hammer with a smiley face on top. His secret moves are all based on tricks with the kendama. For instance, the smiley face on top can grow in size and be sent flying at the enemy. Unfortunately, he was still nowhere near Garo's level when they fought. The 26th ranked hero is the 28-year-old Golden Ball with his baggy pants and hoodie. He's the last person you'd expect to be partnered with the classy Mustachio, but the two do make a great team. He's an overconfident dude who doesn't think he needs to prepare for a fight. He's a weapons type of fighter and uses a slingshot, a laser pointer, and shape-changing golden bullets in battle. He scored a 6 in stamina, a 5 in intelligence, a 6 in justice, a 6 in endurance, a 6 in power, a 5 in popularity, a 6 in effectiveness, and a 6 in fighting ability, meaning he scored a 46 out of 80 overall. His bullets can pierce steel and he was skilled enough to wound Garo's leg. However, Garo adjusts to the speed of his bullets, and after he runs out of ammo, Golden Ball is pretty much powerless. The 25th ranked hero is Crescent Eyebrow. You can recognize him by the crescent moon on his helmet and chest. He fights with a crescent-shaped blade, and he is strong and fast enough to slice multiple monsters in quick succession. Like most A-class heroes, Crescent Eyebrow was no match for the demon-level monster Rhino Wrestler. The 24th ranked hero is Green, who has a very unique ability that is not based on superhuman strength or psychokinesis. He can control plants growing out of his body and use them to bind monsters. He can constrict them until they die, or trap them so other heroes can finish them off. Green looks pretty feeble because the plants growing inside his flesh need so many nutrients. In 22nd place, we have One Shotter. Appearance-wise, you just don't get much cooler than a sniper with a cybernetic eye patch and a turtleneck. He pulled off the super cool feat of shooting through an enemy monster's bullet, and the bullet even ended up going right through the monster's sniper scope and hitting it in the eye. He acts cool until his sniper jams, and then he freaks out and begins to panic. Like many weapon-style fighters, he is relatively powerless without his weapon. When it jams, he even goes as far as to hide behind Puri Puri prisoner's legs like a child. And with that, his cool image fell apart, unfortunately. The 19th ranked hero is the 21-year-old Lightning Max, the guy who walks around with a lightning symbol on his left cheek. He may have got his butt kicked by the Deep Sea King, but to his credit, he kept fighting until he was out cold. He's a weapons type of fighter and scored a 6 in stamina, a 5 in intelligence, a 6 in justice, a 5 in endurance, a 7 in power, a 6 in popularity, a 6 in effectiveness, and a 6 in fighting ability, giving him a total of 47 out of 80. Max mainly fights with his lightning shoes, which have gunpowder stored inside them. The shoes contain, among other things, boosters, detonation switches, and iron plates, so that he can dramatically increase his speed and attack power. Max is a martial artist and uses hyper karate style, which revolves around karate kicks. The 17th ranked hero is the 24-year-old Lightning Genji, a guy with a Bane-like mask on his face and rollerblades on his feet. Lightning Genji was in charge of D City and he rose to A class quickly after joining the Hero Association. Despite this, he couldn't beat the two tiger-level monsters, Mycoplasma and Electric Catfish, who also have lightning/electricity-based powers. Genji is a weapons type of fighter and he scored a 5 in stamina, a 5 in intelligence, a 6 in justice, a 6 in endurance, a 7 in power, a 6 in popularity, a 6 in effectiveness, and a 7 in fighting ability, making his total 48 out of 80. He fights with 2 stun rods. His attack, Max Electricity, allows him to release maximum voltage output from his stun rods for maximum damage. But my favorite thing about Genji has to be the fact that he wears rollerblades in battle. I love that. The 16th ranked hero is Butterfly DX. He is a hairy hero who walks around shirtless. He only wears a thong, high heel shoes, giant butterfly wings, and a headband with butterfly antenna. He fought the demon level monster Multi-Eyed Octopus, but he was no match for it. We don't know much else about Butterfly DX, but it appears like he can use his wings to fly or at least get some impressive airtime. The 13th ranked hero is Great Philosopher, one of my absolute favorite heroes. He has a long white beard like an ancient Greek philosopher, and yet he's jacked like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime. As if he couldn't get more epic, he carries a huge book on him. His alias is Great Iron Man, so take that regular Iron Man. Being the philosopher he is, he tries to understand monsters. He asks them about their feelings and motives, but they don't give him a real response, so he kills them with his book. When Child Emperor scanned him to see how powerful he was, he got an impressive 2,442, a much higher score than the higher ranking A-class hero Stinger, who only got 1,600. If we should take away anything from this character, it's the value of books. You can read them in your leisure time and use them as weapons in life-threatening situations. Knowledge is power. The 11th ranked hero is Twintail, a Harley Quinn looking hero. Her name Twintail comes from her pigtail hairstyle. I think she has to be one of the best hero designs. She dresses like a jester with a blindfold and a teardrop painted on her left cheek. Her pigtails are also held up by specific dice that each have the number 4 on all 6 sides. The number 4 sounds like the word death in Japanese, so it's kind of like saying to her enemies, your only outcome is death, which is pretty cool. She juggles deadly weapons like blades, heavy balls, and bowling pins that she can use to kill multiple monsters simultaneously. Twintails is clearly a weapons type of fighter and actually has over 30 weapons hidden all around her body. The 10th ranked hero is the 24-year-old Stinger, who reminds me of Lancer from Fate Zero. It's probably because of the hair, tight clothing, and spear. He is proud, charismatic, overconfident, and as a result, hilarious. He beat 10 monsters on his own, who together were around a threat level tiger. Now that is pretty impressive, but he overestimates his accomplishments. After he defeats them, he says, I did it, I did it. Did I just single-handedly beat a god level invasion? I'm so awesome. I love his positivity, but in truth, Stinger is not even a match for a demon level monster like Deep Sea King when he shows up. Stinger is a weapons type of fighter, and he scored a 6 in stamina, a 5 in intelligence, a 7 in justice, a 6 in endurance, a 7 in power, a 7 in popularity, a 6 in effectiveness, and a 7 in fighting ability. In other words, he scored a 51 out of 80. He can spin his spear's head and use it like a drill to completely rip through an enemy. He can even use the spinning of his spear to launch himself into the sky like a helicopter. And it probably won't surprise you that one of his favorite hobbies is taking care of his hair. The 9th ranked hero is Tank Top Vegetarian, another amazing name for a hero. Tank Top Vegetarian is second in command of Tank Top Master's Tank Topper army. His name comes from the fact that he believes in the power of the tank top, and simultaneously in a healthy vegetable-based diet. He's a physical type of fighter like his master, and he scored a 6 in stamina, a 3 in intelligence, a 5 in justice, a 6 in endurance, a 6 in power, a 6 in popularity, a 6 in effectiveness, and a 6 in fighting ability. So his total score was a 44 out of 80. Tank Top Vegetarian may well be the second strongest member of the manly Tank Topper army, but he was absolutely no match for Garo, who defeated him along with the rest of the army. The 8th ranked hero is Death Gatling. This cool looking dude has a Gatling gun in place of his left arm, and a lot of belts. Even large hordes of monsters don't pose a threat to him because of his efficient use of his gun, which shoots faster and has larger rounds than a normal Gatling gun. Although taking out higher ranking monsters is not so easy for him. For instance, he is no match for the so-called human monster Garo. Death Gatling is actually upset that S-Class heroes get so much attention, and that excellent heroes outside of the S-Class go practically unnoticed. This is why he assembled a group of A-Class heroes to defeat Garo, who has a reputation of being able to defeat S-Class heroes. Death Gatling wants to prove that A-Class heroes aren't meaningless, but unfortunately, his obsession with being recognized only leads to his defeat. The 7th ranked hero is Magic Trick Man, a hero who looks like a cross between a magician and the Riddler from Batman. However, he is super serious and hates criminals. According to the data book, his ability type is Secret, which is fitting for a magician. He scored a 5 in stamina, a 6 in intelligence, a 7 in justice, a 6 in endurance, a 6 in power, a 6 in popularity, a 6 in effectiveness, and a 7 in fighting ability, totaling up to a 49 out of 80. His battle style pretty much consists of using magic tricks and tools in battle. His cane can spread smoke across the battlefield in order to blind opponents. He can release birds who can see past the smoke to attack his enemies. He also keeps sharp playing cards that can cut an enemy. Despite his versatility and mystery, like most A-class heroes, he is no match for Garo. The 6th ranked hero is the 19-year-old Blue Fire, who can be seen rocking a dark blue kung fu suit. As his name suggests, he fights by shooting blue flames at his opponents. He's serious, strict, and does not value the life of criminals. He fired an attack at Garo while criminals were standing behind him and at risk of getting hit. Thus, when Garo dodged, he ended up cremating some criminals. He was no match for Garo, who revealed that Blue Fire uses a portable flamethrower inside his sleeves to fire his blue flame attacks. He's obviously a weapons type of fighter, and he scored a 5 in stamina, a 6 in intelligence, a 7 in justice, a 5 in endurance, a 6 in power, a 7 in popularity, a 7 in effectiveness, and a 7 in fighting ability, all totaling to a 50 out of 80. Don't let his powerlessness in the face of Garo mislead you. He is a very powerful hero, and Stitch, the Ministry Officer of Justice for the Hero Association, even said that Blue Fire is comparable to S-Class in terms of fighting ability. The 5th ranked hero is the 35-year-old Heavy Tank Loincloth, a man with one of the most epic mustaches I've ever seen. I mean, it's like he has 2 boomerangs hanging out of each nostril. He also towers over most people. He's 7 feet and 7 inches tall and weighs over 270 pounds. And he appears to be completely naked except for a loincloth. He is an aggressive dude who follows his own code of honor. Yet despite all this, Garo takes him out with a punch. Heavy Tank Loincloth is a physical type of fighter. He scored a 6 in stamina, a 6 in intelligence, a 7 in justice, a 6 in endurance, a 5 in power, a 5 in popularity, a 6 in effectiveness, and a 7 in fighting ability, making his total score 48 out of 80. He is strong enough to knock out thugs and even break through concrete with his fists, but he may break his arm in the process. He's pretty much Nappa from DBZ in appearance and in level of usefulness. The 4th ranked hero is the 37-year-old Bushi Drill, a disciple of Atomic Samurai. Bushi Drill looks like a stereotypical samurai and has very wild and bushy eyebrows. He is the oldest of Atomic Samurai's disciples and thus acts like the wisest. He is cautious and warns the others like Yayan when they are acting reckless. He is a weapons type of fighter, and he scored a 7 in stamina, a 5 in intelligence, a 7 in justice, a 7 in endurance, a 7 in power, a 6 in popularity, a 6 in effectiveness, and an 8 in fighting ability, making his total score a 53 out of 80. His weapons of choice are special katanas that are shaped like drills. There are smaller blades inside the katanas that can pop out and spin, adding destructive power to his attacks. The 3rd ranked hero, another disciple of Atomic Samurai, is the 26-year-old Okama Itachi. This hero has a Pikachu look going on and is an amazing swordsman. Okama Itachi can use the curved katana to send huge blades of wind at the enemy. This attack is so impressive that Iain says that the technique looks like the work of gods every time he sees it. Okama Itachi is obviously a weapons type of fighter and scored a 7 in stamina, a 5 in intelligence, a 7 in justice, a 6 in endurance, a 7 in power, a 6 in popularity, a 6 in effectiveness, and an 8 in fighting ability, making the total score a 52 out of 80. I must say, the ability to send sharp blades of wind at an enemy using nothing but a sword is one of the most unique in the series and one of my personal favorites. Let me know what your favorite ability in One Punch Man is in the comments. The 2nd ranked hero is the 23-year-old Iain, also translated as Iairon, yet another Atomic Samurai disciple and his top disciple too. So yeah, Atomic Samurai is clearly a skilled sensei, since he has 3 powerful and high-ranking students. Iain has a katana, but interestingly enough, he wears medieval armor made out of iron when he fights. He has the fastest swordsmanship skills out of all of Atomic Samurai's disciples. He is quick-tempered and can be overconfident. Like the rest of the samurai disciples, he's a weapons type of fighter, and he scored a 7 in stamina, a 5 in intelligence, a 7 in justice, a 6 in endurance, a 7 in power, a 6 in popularity, a 6 in effectiveness, and an 8 in fighting ability, making his total score a 52 out of 80. Additional credit goes to Ian for losing his left arm to a dragon level monster without even screaming out, and for being able to stop a demon level Rhino Wrestler's charge when a bunch of A and B class heroes could not. And finally, we get to the first rated hero, the 24-year-old handsomely masked Sweet Mask. Not only is he a strong hero, he is a famous model, actor, and singer. He is the most popular hero in the world. In fact, in the world of One Punch Man, he ranked #1 in the popularity polls for 28 weeks in a row. He has blue hair and yellow eyes that appear to turn red when he is angered. As his name suggests, he has a darker side beneath his sweet mask. He hates evil and is merciless when it comes to exterminating it. He even killed a caveman that the Hero Association specifically asked him to bring back alive. He is a physical type of fighter who scored an 8 in stamina, a 7 in intelligence, an impressive 8 in justice, a 7 in endurance, an 8 in power, a 10 in popularity, a 9 in effectiveness, and a 7 in fighting ability, making for a total score of 62 out of 80. To put this in perspective, Puri Puri Prisoner, an S-Class hero, only scored 56 out of 80. So a 62 is very impressive. Despite being A-Class, we are told that Sweet Mask is worthy of S-Class. He has shown that he can even face a disaster level dragon monster like Fuhrer Ugly and come out of it with no significant damage, which is very impressive considering that all of the other A-Class heroes have trouble fighting with Demon Class monsters like Rhino Wrestler. Sweet Mask loves his fans, justice, missions, and skincare products, and he hates evil, annoying interviews, and irresponsible heroes. And that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to smash that like button if you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it. Thanks again for the insane response on the S-Class Heroes video. I truly did not expect that. Let me know what other One Punch Man videos you would like to see in the comments. A big thank you goes out to our patrons over on Patreon who help make videos like this one possible. I especially want to thank our Pro Hero tier patrons, the one and only Gilgamesh, Nothing But a Fan, Jason Wilson, King Zeldris, and Angel Cruz, and are the 1 tier patrons, the ones who stand atop all clans, Baby Ray, A17 FFDP, Steven Ingrata, Alolan Autem, Maddie Mac 239, Makoto Kun, and Keelon. And the patrons who transcend greatness itself, Reagan Harrison and Lord Nuxanor, the chosen few who have been acknowledged by Lord Dwego himself. If you enjoy our work, you can support more of it by going over to patreon.com/AnimeUproar and becoming a patron today for as little as $1. If you do so, you'll get your name featured in future videos alongside these real-life heroes right here, and you'll even get access to our private patron-only Discord. So check out patreon.com/AnimeUproar, link in the description if you're interested. And until next time, see you, Space Cowboy.